Hi guys, welcome to our live chat for the spring session with the College of Health and Human Sciences. I'm John Gibson, and I'm the recruitment specialist in the College of Health and Human Sciences. And with me tonight, we also have Teresa Eloff from Health and Human Sciences and Katie Clark. Katie is a senior from Indiana, and she's studying athletic training. And she's also been accepted to physical therapy school, so she'll be able to answer some of your questions about pre-professional programs at Purdue. So I'm going to send it over to Katie and Teresa to say hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
All right, so we're going to jump into the first question. The first question that we have is about campus housing. And the students, a couple of you, would like to know, are freshmen normally put into certain dorms, or do they have a choice? And then is the ranking system taken into consideration? So we'll send this over to Teresa.
Okay, the Purdue housing system has a lottery system, so if your lottery number is 10, you have a better choice of getting your rankings than if your lottery number is 4,999. Your rankings are considered, so if you pull the number 10 lottery, then you're more apt to get your first choice or your second choice. Then, like I said, if you get number 4,099, you might not get your fourth or fifth choice. There are all men's residence halls, there are all women residence halls, there are co-ed residence halls, there's an honor residence hall, there are living learning communities, so there's not just one residence hall for freshmen.
Awesome. And then another question that we got, since you just talked about it, we'll skip ahead to this one. And what is a learning community? We'll send that back to you, Teresa.
Okay, there are living learning communities. A living community is where students who have the same major live together, so it helps their study. They can study in teams. The learning community, students will take courses in the same class, so there'll be the same 20 students in English class or the same 20 students in a communication class. So you can study in groups, and you can get to know a small group better.
Awesome. Something that I forgot to mention earlier, if any of you forgot to send in your questions, I do have my cell phone, and you can text any questions to me that you may have or that you might have throughout this broadcast. The phone number is 269-362-4670. Again, that's 269-362-4670. So if you have any questions, just text them to me and we can include them within the broadcast. So then I'm going to send this question over to Katie. Is it best to take early classes so that they are smaller? So then I guess, Katie, how about what's the best time of day that you found to take your classes?
That's a tough question because for athletic training, you tend to have to take your classes, those early classes in the morning, so that way you can get your schoolwork done in time for your clinicals when most of the practices are for the teams. But my advice for that would be to pick a time where you feel most comfortable and you're up and ready to learn. So if you're not a morning person, then don't schedule a bunch of morning classes if you can avoid it. You know, you may get stuck with you have to take the 7:30 because that's the only time it's offered, or that's the only time it's open for you. But if you're not a morning person, then I would try to schedule maybe more towards the afternoon when you're awake and alert and ready to learn. But if you are a morning person, then go ahead and schedule them early and get them out of the way, and maybe get done, and then so that way you have the afternoon to work on other things or get your homework done or go do something fun, whatever you want. But it's basically you have to find a time that works best for you and when you learn and study the best.
Great. The next question is also going to come to you, Katie. And do you have any helpful hints to help students survive their freshman year on campus?
I think definitely it is going to be an adjustment. You can't sugarcoat that because it's a lot different than high school, but what you can do is, definitely time management and prioritizing. So whether if you're a person who has to sit down and write everything out that you need to get done for the week or that day or something, or if you have a calendar, you use your phone calendar. Definitely kind of prioritize, get things scheduled out so you know what's going on, and taking time to set aside to study, because in high school, I know most students probably didn't sit down a whole lot at home and do a bunch of extra studying because you have time in class to do that and to get your homework done and study in class. But in college, you're just lecturing, you're just learning in class. You don't really have time to work on homework or do extra studying in class. So you have to set aside separate time for that, and that's definitely an adjustment. So as far as class-wise, I would say that. But then also you have to find a balance, and just to be able to survive, finding a good group of friends. And you may not find that your first day here, so don't get worried about that. But whether in your residence hall you have floor meetings and you do activities with your RA, so you get to know people on your floor. Just making an effort to try to get to know more people, whether it's through BGR and your BGR group, your residence hall group. If maybe you have a smaller class, so you get to know those students. You'll find your little niche and where you fit in, and you'll make new friends, and just take advantage of that and take advantage of different opportunities that are available here at Purdue in different clubs, and find something that you really do enjoy that you can do, whether it's a club or whether it's going to the co-rec to exercise or hanging out with your friends. You have to find that balance and have something that you do to kind of relieve the stress and kind of have that as well. So definitely time management and prioritizing, but also finding a balance your freshman year is a good advice, I'd say.
Awesome. Thanks, Katie. The next question is going to come back to you, and it's, how does Purdue prepare you for medical and professional school?
I'll go ahead and first talk about my experience and how it prepared me, and then kind of more general. But definitely with athletic training going into physical therapy school, it prepares you really well because you're doing a lot of the same stuff, a lot of the same hands-on clinical experience, so you get that experience with athletic training as well as directly with physical therapy, in that we have hours with the physical therapy clinic, which is now at the co-rec, but it's with PUSH, and working in the physical therapy clinic, so that's provided me with direct hands-on experience and just working in the clinical setting already. And then also, just in general, the rigor of the classes, I think, prepares you really well when you're taking the big, anatomy and physiology and the biologies and the chemistries and the physics. They prepare you really well, I feel, for professional schools, and just having that good, solid foundation for whether it be physical therapy school or med school. And then Purdue just provides a lot of resources for you. So I had some opportunities with athletic training to get observation hours and with my professors and people that I knew, but there's plenty of resources for that Purdue has. If you need to reach out to get maybe some job shadowing done, or reach out to different, they have a lot of different connections that they can help you with that. And then also just the professors, always you get to know your professors really well, I think, here at Purdue, and they have your back, and they're able to write you really good recommendations for professional school.
Awesome. And can you guys talk a little bit about the Center for Pre-Professional Advising?
Have you used that at all?
I actually didn't use it as much, but I know I met with somebody there on one of my visit days, because I knew I was going to do physical therapy, and I met with the lady there and talked to her some about the services that they have available, but I actually didn't end up using it that much, since with athletic training I had some really great professors and references there that helped me a lot with kind of the whole application process for physical therapy school.
The pre-professional office does a really nice job of helping students with writing resumes, with having them practice for an interview, doing practice questions, and they can advise you in a lot of different ways. So Katie had another route to go, but pre-professional advising is there if you need it.
Awesome. And then I'm also going to skip ahead. A couple of individuals asked about the graduate school placement rate. Graduate and professional school placement rate for the College of Health and Human Sciences for last year's graduates was 83%. Traditionally, we've been between 80 and 85% for the placement rate, which is very high. I'm also going to skip on to, can I still apply for scholarships? So if you apply before November 1st, you're automatically considered for entry-level freshman scholarships that are merit-based. and those are all done through the Office of Admissions. And then if you apply by February 1st through the College of Health and Human Sciences page under Student Life, Scholarships, and then you'll select an incoming freshman scholarship, you have until February 1st. So a couple more days. If you're thinking about that, you might want to apply right after the chat's over. How about, does Purdue offer study abroad trips? We're going to send this over to Teresa.
Okay, we have a lot of study abroad opportunities within Health and Human Sciences and also within Purdue University. In fact, one of the goals of our dean is to have every student study abroad, whether it be for a spring break, which is about 10 days, Maymester, it could be for summer, it could be for an entire semester or a year. So we encourage students to take an opportunity. You may be doing an internship during your study abroad, you may be working during your study abroad. The College of Health and Human Sciences is having a study abroad fair this Thursday, and there are going to be at least 24 professors there who are sponsoring trips for spring break, for the summer, encouraging students to learn and sign up to go on study abroad trips. There are also scholarships for students. We have the C Scholarship, and it's a donor and two donors, and they've agreed to help finance for study abroad. And I know Katie wants to talk about her study abroad opportunity.
Yeah, this past Maymester, I went to China for study abroad. So that was about 3 weeks, and it was a group with one of my professors in athletic training, and he's done the trip quite a few times, and we had about 20 students that went over there, and it was an excellent experience. It was really great. I would recommend, like Teresa said, study abroad is a great opportunity. I'd recommend it to everybody. And what we did is we went 2 weeks. We were in Beijing at the Beijing Sport University, where we took some classes as well as did some sightseeing there. And some of the classes we took were we did like a Chinese massage, acupuncture, cupping, so just different, some more Eastern sports medicine techniques that we learned. And then we also did some like Tai Chi classes, Chinese dance, a little bit of culture and Chinese language classes. They were just a lot of fun, a lot of the classes were, and then we got to know a lot of the students there on campus, so that was a lot of fun, getting to interact with them and see, you know, just how much they are like us, you know, even halfway across the world, they're still students, and you know, that was really neat. And they would take us out and we'd get to hang out with them, go out, and we went to like pizza place and stuff like that over in China, which was, it was really good pizza actually. And but we also got to do some really great sightseeing, like the Great Wall, got to climb some of the Great Wall and Tiananmen Square, things like that. And then we made 2 short side trips to Langkou and then also Shanghai, so that was really neat to get to see some other places in Shanghai, the big city there, where we did some sightseeing. So I definitely recommend it, and especially kind of take a look and branch out, because China was, I knew I want to do study abroad, and China was definitely not at the top of my list, but it happened to be what trip the athletic training does, and now I would go back to China in a heartbeat. So branch out, even if it's not something that you're thinking about, explore the options.
We have students who go all over the world to Australia. They'll go to London if they're majoring in retail management. Speech language hearing science has study abroad trips. Nutrition science goes to Ireland. One of our nutrition science dietetic students went to South Africa. So just endless possibilities.
Definitely. Also, students who are in HTM have the ability to go to China and to study at the Shangri-La Hotel, and those students actually get a package that ends up being worth about $25,000. They're there for 10 months. The Shangri-La provides their airfare, their lodging, their meals, and then they also pay them a stipend during the time. So as both Teresa and Katie said, just endless possibilities in health and human sciences. This question is going to go back to Katie, and a lot of students want to know, what do you do for fun?
definitely, you have a lot of different options and tons of different clubs and things you can join. I think there's over 900 clubs here at Purdue, so, and you can definitely go to plenty of those call-outs when you're a freshman or whatever year you are, and there's sure to be pizza there, so you can at least get some free dinner when you go to those call-outs. But me personally, I like to work out a lot, so whether that's using the co-rec facility, which is a beautiful facility that we have here, or riding my bike or rollerblading around campus, around some of the West Lafayette trails. I really like to do that, especially now that I live off campus. One of the trails goes right by my apartment. And then I also did intramural sports for a couple years. I played volleyball and sand volleyball with that. And then just, hanging out with my friends, doing whatever with them, and then just being involved in a couple of clubs that I'm really involved with, like Athletic Training Club and then Ambassadors, and did PTOT Club for a while. So just finding a couple of clubs that you're really passionate about, I think, and then, like I said, whether it's be sports, definitely going to the games and supporting the Boilers, whether it be with football, basketball, or you can check out lots of sports, varsity sports, or do some intramural sports, things like that.
We also have the LA Hall of Music, which has cultural events and musical events. Have you gone to any concerts?
I haven't gone to a concert while I'm here. I probably should before I leave, but I know a lot of my friends have gone to, like Luke Bryan and things like that. So we get some my sister went to Lady Gaga, I think, when she was here, so we get a lot of good people out here.
I think Sister Act is coming here next month.
Awesome, and then Teresa, this one is going to be for you. Why should I attend Purdue University to study psychology instead of another school? So what are some advantages to studying psychology at Purdue?
Psychology has two different majors within the department. One is called Brain and Behavioral Sciences, and those students tend to go on to medical school, to go into research regarding psychology. The other major is called Psychological Sciences, and there are so many options for the Psychological Sciences major. You could go into marketing, into advertising, some go on to law school, some students go into human resources, and I use this example a lot when I talk to students because it's unique, especially if you're interested a little bit in forensic science. One of our graduates works for a penal system, and she interviews inmates and does testing with them, and then she makes recommendations to the judge on whether she feels that the inmate can be rehabilitated. So that's one unique example that I can give about psychological sciences. Those students also have the opportunity to do research with a professor. We have two students in medical school right now who did research projects with Dr. Susie Swithers, and they were doing research on whether it's better to drink Coke or Diet Coke, and they were doing research with rats on that. So it depends on your area of interest. If you want to go into memory, you might do research with a professor on memory, on dementia, on Alzheimer's, or if you're interested in advertising, then you would go more the marketing route. So lots of opportunities for psychological sciences, and a lot of our students will double major in psychological sciences and human development and family studies, especially if you want to go into social work, or maybe you want to go into pre-med or pediatrics. You might double major in brain and behavioral sciences and also development and family studies.
Excellent. One thing that also just came to my mind is psychological sciences is one of two academic units that's participating in a co-op system for students. And what that means is that students, it would take 5 years if you wanted to complete the co-op program, but for 1 full year, 2 semesters, and they're separated during your time here, you just go out and you'll work in the field to gain paid work experience, and you come back and do another semester of class. You go out and do another semester in your co-op, and then you come back and finish the psychological sciences program. So that's a unique opportunity for you. A few students wanted to know what our employment rate was for recent graduates, and over the last few years, the employment rate for health and human sciences graduates has been between 85 and 90% for students that are actively seeking employment. This last year, 88% of our graduates who were looking for a job right around the time of graduation found one, many of them before graduation. And we have a career development specialist in the College of Health and Human Sciences who helps to arrange job fairs, networking events. She can help you with resumes. We have a LinkedIn network that she manages. In HTM, we also have a career development person to help you if you're just in the major of HTM. And then the Center for Career Opportunities, which is ranked number 3 in the nation, is available to all students at Purdue at any time. And we have one last question, and it's going to go to Katie. A lot of individuals want to know, how safe do you feel on campus?
I feel really safe here at Purdue. There's a lot of safety mechanisms that they have in place to ensure that safety for everyone, whether it be the alert system, so where you get emails and texts, especially sent to your phone, so you're updated if there is any thing going on campus, you're aware of that. Purdue is very lit very well, so even if you're walking around at night, it's not super dark. There's lots of light around, and you're always kind of walking with a friend usually if you do feel uncomfortable, or maybe you call your mom on the phone so you have somebody to talk to while you're walking. I've done that before. Then we also have a couple things like the Safe Walk program, so if you do feel uncomfortable and you're by yourself, you can call that number. It's on the back of your student ID, and there's a program, and they'll send somebody over to walk with you, so that way you have somebody with you. And then we also have emergency call boxes that are around campus. They're yellow boxes that have blue light on top of them. So if you do feel unsafe, or you feel like maybe somebody is, kind of following you, then you can hit those boxes everywhere you go, and they'll alert the police. And if you keep hitting them along your path, it'll track your path so they know where you are. So there's definitely plenty of safety mechanisms in place to make you feel more safe and make you just feel like you're at home on campus, even though it is a college campus.
Awesome, thank you. And that was the last question. We have one more that just came in, and that would be, what kind of opportunities relating to the clinics in speech, language, and hearing science are open to undergraduate students? So I'll send that one over to Teresa.
Okay, we have a brand new, let me start out with, we have a brand new building, Lyles Porter Hall, and the money was donated for that hall. The majority of the money was donated by a speech, language, and hearing sciences alumna. And so the speech, language, hearing sciences have brand new facilities. There is a child care facility in Lyles Porter where students learn to work with children who have some kind of a speech disorder or a hearing disorder. They're children from the town, from the county of Purdue County, and they go there, and our students get to learn that opportunity. A lot of our professors are doing research with Parkinson's disease in speech, language, hearing sciences, and I talk to speech, language, hearing students all the time who are working with different professors.
Definitely, and speech, language, hearing science too, if you're interested in doing some of that undergraduate research, one of their specialties is Parkinson's disease. Maybe you're familiar with someone who has that disorder, or some famous people like Michael J. Fox, Muhammad Ali, and we have a few professors here that are working on that. We also have a professor that invented the speech vibe, which is kind of like a hearing aid that individuals can use to help aid in the progression of that disease. And then a lot of undergraduates are in the research opportunities with faculty. In fact, the department had to say that every faculty member in the speech, language, hearing science is open to taking undergraduate students. And we also had a question from the same individual about the best residence hall for speech, language, and hearing science. And speech, language, hearing science has a learning community that you could become involved in. You would apply for that through Student Success and through the Purdue Learning Communities. But you would have the option to live in Owen Hall, and then you would live with about 20 to 30 other people who are in the SLHS learning community. And on top of living with them in that wing, you would also take SLHS 115, which is Introductions to Communication Sciences and Disorders, and SLHS 227, the elements of linguistics, with those same students. So it's a great opportunity to make Purdue feel very small and get to know a lot of people here. Well, that does it for our questions. So I would just like to remind you that if you'd like to come to Purdue's For Me, which is an admitted student program, you can register for that through the Office of Admissions. You can bring your parents or guardians to that event, and you can also have lunch in a residence hall. If you'd like to come to a campus visit, you can register for that through the College of Health and Human Sciences Future Student webpage. During a campus visit with HHS, you can learn from academic advisors, you can meet with them, you can go to class with a student in your major, and then you can also potentially sit in on the classes, meet with students in the union, just find out what it's like to be here at Purdue University. And again, the deadline to accept your admission is May 1st, but the earlier that you accept your admission, the earlier you can apply to learning communities and other opportunities at Purdue. If you have any other questions, send them to us at hhsundergrad@purdue.edu. Thank you for watching, and have a good evening.
Thank you.